Hey everybody, it's Sadie Hawkins Pod reporting to you from Spring Break 2003.
Yeah, party, woo!
We got lots lined up for this very special Spring Break Sadie Hawkins Pod.
Hells yeah!
But first, welcome our musical guest, Dave Matthews Band. Oh no, everybody's booing. Hey everybody, welcome back. As you can hear, we really are reporting from Spring Break 2003. We hope all you crazy college kids out there are having a great time. It's 2003. We want to remind everyone that it's 2003, so there's no problem with big groups of people coming together on a beach in 2003.
I don't know why you're saying that. Why would that be weird?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying if any...
Well, look over there. It's Usher.
Hey, Usher. He just gave me a wink and a smile. Sweet. So, yeah, here we are. It's kind of noisy out here.
It is.
Here, hold on. I got this soundproof curtain.
They put the booth up in, like, the most inopportune spot.
I know. It's awful. Hold on. Let's just step in here. Okay. I'm going to close the door. There we go. We're in our mobile podcast recording unit. Obviously, it's 2003, so we're way ahead of the game with podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's listening.
Not yet.
Not yet. We have to shelve this for... I'm not good at math.
Maybe
You're the accountant. How many years?
Maybe something like 17 years, probably.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll hold on to it, I don't know if everyone out there realizes this. This podcast was designed to come out in the year 2019. And all our podcasts up to this point, they've all been recorded in 2003. We recorded them a real long time ago when you're hearing this. Is this a little too much?
It's a little too much. Maybe we backtrack a little. This is a little too much.
Okay, welcome to Sadie Hawkins Pod. How's everyone doing? We're talking about college kids today. If all that first opening patter confused you, don't worry about it. just don't worry about it. I'm leaving it all in. I don't care what you say.
Oh, no. Danny, what were you doing in 2003?
You got me. Turn the tables. You turned the tables on
did.
me. I feel like the last time you turned the tables on me with that, though, it was 2003 as well. I feel like this is the second time.
I remember what I was doing in 2003.
What were you doing in 2003?
I was in high school.
I was graduated from high school.
I know you were. You were college age. Were you taking college courses yet?
I was, and I guess we were going to talk about that when we get into college kids. But yeah, I was taking college courses, but not the college that I went to where I got my degree and where I met you. I was taking other college courses somewhere else.
He was taking calligraphy and
making a fake degree. Which, by the way, spoiler warnings to anyone out there for the movie Parasite. This is the most minor of spoilers, but it just occurred to me.
Does that take place in 2003?
No.
Oh.
Parasite's a movie that's best seen if you don't know anything about it. So this is the only thing I'll say about the movie Parasite. You don't know. I'm not going to spoil anything about the characters, the situation, or the plot. But there's literally someone makes a fake college degree in the course of the movie. You'll see why it fits into the plot.
Nice.
I'm like, oh my gosh! I just realized that. I'm like, we should make a little music. We should make a fan music video from Parasite. Because this song had so many fan music videos.
I just realized I've made a fake degree, or at least I've signed one. There was this short that I produced last year that the one of the other producers and the director and myself all got to sign, and I got to be the dean, and then they made fun of me because my signature is awful.
I know your signature. I know your signature, and it's so funny to think of it on a really official document, like hanging in a doctor's office.
I will never be a dean. Yeah.
That's so funny.
I could be a doctor. I have awful penmanship.
Yeah. You have good penmanship. You have nice penmanship.
You're sweet.
So we do have one new voicemail. Yeah, one new voicemail.
Nice.
I believe this is from Gates Furnessy again, who called last week.
Nice.
And he's following up with some stuff. And it looks like, you know what, I got to mention in the outgoing message that there's a 3-minute time limit. Because whenever I see that 3-minute time bar, I'm like, oh, they got cut off.
Yeah.
So let's play this.
Hello, Furnessy Gates from Pennsylvania. Yeah, I don't know, like, as for my experience with Relient K, I had this girl I had a crush on in high school, and she kind of no longer had a crush on me and sort of told her friend about me, this homosexual guy named Danny, and he was really, really into Relient K.
Okay. That's an odd detail, but that's fine. No full names. That's good. There's no full names.
Did you used to be a homosexual in Pennsylvania?
Well, you asked where I was in 2003. You didn't ask where I was in 2002.
And at one point, like, I don't know, either I borrowed a whole stack of Relient K CDs from him, or he borrowed them from me. I think some of them were burned. This is pretty early on in the career of Relient K for there to be a whole stack of CDs in their name. I don't know if I'm really remembering it right, but I was also wondering, like, at the time, why is this, like, gay person into a Christian band? Like, aren't Christians against that kind of stuff? I'm not so sure if I was very religious back then. That was transition for me in that regard as well. But I also have this other friend that I introduced Relient K to, and he immediately called them Relient K because he doesn't pronounce things very well. When we watch Seinfeld, he pronounces it Seinfeld.
From now on, we're calling them Relient K.
Relient K?
Relient K.
Relient K. They're always right next to Real Big Fish on my CD shelf or in my old iPod, so that makes sense.
I've always called them Relient K. At one point, I thought maybe the name meant, like, they're called Reliant because they rely on God, but, you know, I'm a pretty good speller. I think Reliant is spelled with an A, not an E. I'm not so sure whether you've gone over the meaning of the name of the band. I don't listen to your podcast that closely. I listen to it in really, really fast speed. I have it like 3 times speed.
Pro tip, if you're not listening to us on 3 times speed, you should be.
Yeah.
It's the only way to get through one of our podcasts.
Do we need to talk much slower now
yes,
for the 3-speed people?
Alvin.
Simon. Alvin.
Man, 3 times speed. Sometimes Danny listens to podcasts on
2 times speed.
2 times speed.
Yeah, this is my 4th week in a row mentioning it, but it keeps coming up on its own. When we played that local wave clip of Matt Hoops, I had saved it to my phone in a screen grab, and it was in times 2 speed. And Jessica's like, "Oh, slow it down." I'm like, "I can't. It's a video of the screen." So I just lost the place in the voicemail.
Uh-oh.
But you won't know that through the magic of editing.
Also, it reminds me of the whole MXPX mix picks thing that Danny's talked about before, with the whole name not being 100% sure of the name of the band.
That's true, because when I discovered MXPX, it was at a Christian bookstore when my mom was like, "Look, you can keep your CDs. You can keep your worldly CDs minus a couple of them like Nine Inch Nails and Adam Sandler." She's like, "Those are the 2 evilest ones. Like, you can't have those." But she's like, "You can keep your Green Day."
He says this sitting across from me wearing a Green Day Dookie shirt.
I am wearing a Green Day. I was just mentioning Green Day. She's like, "You can keep your Green Day and your Weezer and your Nirvana and your Foo Fighters, but can you just get some like other Christian bands that sound like them too?" So she takes me to the Christian bookstore, And I tell the Christian bookstore lady what I'm into, and she's like, "Oh, then you'll like Mix Picks."
Yeah.
So for a while, I thought they were called Mix Picks, but not for long because they mentioned their own name in the Teenage Politics album, and I'm like, "Oh, that lady just didn't know."
Anyway, but I'd be interested to know what the. I think in your K car episode, you kind of went over it, at least with the K, but I don't know about the word Reliant. So, as for my neighbor, I had a neighbor who was in all sorts of Christian bands, except for Creed. One time, I think I went out there waiting for the bus, and I asked him, like, "Oh, Relient K, have you heard of that?" He's like, "Yeah, heard of it."
I don't know the guy, but I'm assuming that's a really good impression.
Is this actually your friend Johnny calling up and like pretending to be somebody else?
That'd be good.
There's some Johnny vibes going on here.
Yeah. Gates Fernesi. I'm confused now what's his first and last name, but his sense of humor seems to be very similar to Johnny's.
Yeah.
We talked about the first track from the one CD. It's like Kickoff. I hope you're not sick of Relient K and all the songs we play. And I thought it was pretty funny how they're like, "Then you want to throw our CD away." Because I would never do that.
Oh, well, at least it didn't cut off mid-word. At least he finished a sentence. That's where it cut off. That was the 3-minute mark. So, yeah, I got to mention there's a 3-minute time limit. Because I don't mind if people want to leave a long message, call up twice. I'll edit it together or whatever. Yeah. You know. But, yeah, thank you. So, yeah, I think we talked about it in a previous episode, but I think the reason is because they wanted to call themselves Relient K, like the car. And I just assume they spelled it wrong to avoid copyright, to avoid
because I think we
market confusion.
I think we might have discussed this in our 17 magazine episode because we talked about how 17 is just in the song. They put the numbers in the title, and the magazine itself spells it out.
And chap lips. They spelled chapstick with a space, whereas it doesn't have a space, right?
Yeah.
One or the other, doesn't matter. But then the band Cutlass,
because chapstick's actually a brand. It's not just. It's lip balm.
Right. And the band Cutlass, also a Christian band, also named after a car.
Right.
Spells their name wrong compared to how you spell the name of the car. So I think it's just they want it to be called Relient K, but Relient K is probably like a trademarked, copywritten, whatever. I think it's trademarked. It's a trademarked name. And in a trademark move, Relient K was like, well, if we spell it differently, then we're good. Because not only can you like not necessarily use the name of something else if it exists, because there's certain... I know a little bit about this. I don't know a ton about this. Like if I want to open Daniel's Pizza, but there's already a Daniel's Automotive store in town, they can't really stop me because we're not the same. We're not the same industry.
Right.
But if I want to open Daniel's Pizza and there's a Daniel's Seafood down the road, then I can be stopped. Right. Now I think, however, when you get into like flat out calling your thing a thing. Like we're the band Relient K and here's the car Relient K, then it gets confusing. Then there's like a thing like in market confusion that you can stop where if Chrysler wanted, it's Chrysler, right? If they want whatever Plymouth.
I think they're owned by Chrysler. Yeah. I could be wrong.
If they wanted to sue the band and Goatee Records and stuff, they could say, "Look, I know we're a car company and you're a rock band, but when people look at your CD, if it's spelled correctly, they'd be like, oh, is this band endorsed by Plymouth?
Right.
I'll listen to it." And then they find out it's not. It's like, it's market,
We did take entertainment law in college.
We did. And I sometimes watch like law videos on YouTube just out of interest, but not really like, I'm not going to school. I've never been to school for it or anything.
Apologies if you can.
Sorry.
Apologies if you can hear me. I have a lozenge in right now because my voice is a little off tonight.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with anything else that anyone might be afraid of.
Nope.
It's just she's lost her voice. There's been a lot of yelling and screaming at me recently. When you're trapped in the same apartment for multiple days.
Oh no! Don't start that rumor. No, it's actually been really nice having Danny around all the time.
Oh, sure. So that's the voicemail. And then, I also want to mention that, luckily we still have the self-titled here on the table, but you can see my socks, who look here's the thing. David Ketch is our intern because he like gets stats for us when we need it. But you can see my socks is like our research intern.
Yeah.
Specifically, because he'll send us information that we've asked about. He said this about K-Car, but I think it might be true of every song that's also on the demo, because Staples is on the demo. Yep. Okay, so I'm just double checking this as I'm saying, and I'm looking at the booklet. Stephen Cushman is credited as a writer on K-Car, even though it's on the demo before Stephen Cushman joined the band.
Yeah, interesting.
And like I just said, that's the same for every song that went from All Work and No Play to the self-titled. Every song is credited to the whole band. This is really funny because like in future records, if it's just Matt Thiessen who wrote the song, we know. But this is like the Ramones, kind of famously their first record or their first couple records. It was like this philosophy, like we're just credited as the Ramones. Like no one's going to know what songs are which Ramones wrote them. But then it seems like when a band comes out and starts with that philosophy, they eventually lose it because they're like, F this.
You know who didn't lose that? The Residents.
Oh, they don't? I don't remember. We watched the documentary together.
No, because you don't actually know who any of the residents are until after some of them pass away.
Did. I'm sorry.
They followed that same philosophy.
They did follow that philosophy all the way because they're an anonymous band.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. I got confused and was like, they don't follow? No, sorry.
Band, art collective.
Right.
Etc.
Right. But yeah, so future future albums credit just Thiessen when it's just Thiessen, and then other writers when it's other writers. There's one of the Ramones documentaries. There's like I think it's a special feature. I don't think it's in the documentary, where they're just sitting there with Tommy, listing off the songs that are on like the group credited albums, just telling him what songs he's like, just trying to get at who wrote them. The documentary people are just trying to find out, and he's like, yeah, that one's probably Dee Dee. Oh, yeah, that one's probably Johnny, or no, or was it Johnny, Tommy? I don't remember who was interviewed, and whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway.
College kids.
So, we're talking college kids this week.
This is one of those songs that has a perfect seamless transition into the next song. It has that little extra bit at the end that goes right into Trademark. That could like be the Trademark intro, but it's at the end of College Kids.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, isn't it just like, it's the song, and then before the song cuts, it actually starts rewinding, right? That's what they do. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive that's how it goes. I'm pretty sure like the songs, they're sustaining a note or a chord, and it's going off, but before the song cuts off, they actually rewound the track and then smash cut into Trademark. Yeah, don't you like this song? This is the song you're always quoting to me and referencing and parodying the lyrics and remixing in your head and stuff.
Yep, this was definitely like a teen me jam.
Especially because this song was only like 3 years old. No, it was only 2 years old when you and me met in college. Yeah. So it was still a relatively new song. Real quick, here's the, I was vamping. Let me get to the end. Hold on. So listen. I think the idea is
they sort of like rewind that reverb.
Yeah. And then they cut it right.
I don't think I ever really realized that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know why I think I always kind of knew that that's what they did. They rewound that last ringing of the chord. But how I really kind of figured it out was, as I said, there are a million fan music videos to this song. And a lot of them decided to take advantage of that thing at the end. So as like someone's walking off at the end of the video or standing there, they'll rewind a couple of frames as the song's rewound to match it. Because everyone loves to do as literal as possible music videos. So
you're playing. I'm distracted a little bit because you're playing with a vampire Pez dispenser over there. That's not very Christianly of you, Dan. You'd make your poor mother cry if she knew. That's right.
Did we mention that on the Halloween episode?
I think we did.
Don't take that away from me.
So much fiddling.
Well, you can go back and listen to our Halloween episode and find out, or I'll just remind everyone now. One year I told my Christian mother that I wanted to be a vampire for Halloween, and she made me the costume, and then she cried. She was like, my boy is possessed by the Satan because he's turned to the dark side of of the vampires. Like, it's not like I was into like, I wasn't into like heavy vampire mythology. I just wanted to be a vampire in the most cartoony, like, you know, late night Saturday movie way. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't reading real horrific vampire
No Anne
stuff.
Rice for you?
Yeah, no Anne Rice or anything.
You weren't playing Vampire the Masquerade?
No, I wasn't playing anything like that.
You weren't like your favorite actor and actress, Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton wearing each other's blood around your necks or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, no, your mom had nothing to worry about. Danny has like a blood phobia.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no.
Let poor little Danny dress up like Dracula if he wants.
Yeah.
He would have been an adorable vampire. You've got that like wavy dark hair.
I could be a vampire for Christ. Is that a thing?
I like that, Vampires for Christ. I'm going to go start a Facebook group called Vampires for Christ if there's not one already out there.
Hey, it took Christian Society, excuse me, it took Christian Society, you know, a couple years to embrace the idea of Christian punk and Christian metal. It'll just take a little bit longer to embrace Christian vampires.
Isn't Stephanie Meyer a Christian who wrote the Twilight series?
Oh, I don't have no idea.
She is.
Okay.
I think
is
that's
she
a
like
thing.
Latter-day Saints or something?
I think she might be like, Mormon or one of those.
Well, anyway, college kids.
How did we get here?
I don't know. So, yeah, this song's fun and all. It obviously, I've always thought it's funny that this is maybe one of their more Blink-182 sounding songs, tone-wise. Just that guitar has a very Tom DeLonge-esque, like, simple thing. And then you have the comparison, the fact that there's this song and there's Going Away to College by Blink-182.
I will say the bass tabs for this are very simple. I picked up my bass the other day when I found out we were doing this song, and I started, yeah, and I started playing along to this, and I was so excited because I'm like, yay!
Yeah.
And I was wrong. I thought that it was Sadie Hawkins dance. I mentioned that in our bonus episode that I thought I was having trouble playing, but that wasn't it. It was a different song. It was one of the songs we covered a couple weeks ago that I pulled the bass tabs up on and was like, whoa, there's a lot going on here. Mm-hmm. A lot of reaching that I'm not ready for yet.
Yeah, I just like, sometimes there are like songs that are like cousin or sister songs or brother songs to other bands. So I always had this, so in my mind there was always this song and Going Away to College by Blink-182. And then another Blink, and I'm sure I can get other bands that aren't Blink-182 to think of it, that I can think of this, but other one I think of is Josie by Blink-182 and Watad by MXPX, because those are both songs where they basically list off the qualities of an imaginary girl that they want, like not an actual girl. Both songwriters admit like it's not about an actual girl that exists, and fans would ask them who's the girl in Watad or Josie, and it's like it's not a real girl. It's just me listing off what I want.
I feel like there's a Hawk Nelson song that's also kind of like a cousin sort of spiritual sequel-esque song to this. Not sequel, but you know what I mean. Like in a similar vein. Kids? Yeah. Not the theme, but more the sound. Right. Yeah.
Well, it was, so as you feel like it's a real anthem to college life. That's the other thing. Is just comparing it to Going Away to College by Blink-182, which is hard for me not to do because those have always been together in my head forever. Going Away to College is really like a romance, or like it's like a song about a relationship, and it happens to have the backdrop of one of them is going away to college. I've analyzed
not anyone in Blink-182 though.
No, they never did go to college.
Yeah.
The other thing is, Going Away to College is confirmed fiction. Mark Hoppus wrote it after watching RET clock went off again. We haven't turned it down. After watching Can't Hardly Wait. But he never went to college. Matt Thiessen did go to college.
Yes.
And it actually is about his experience going to college.
I think, and I could be wrong, I think he, Hoops, and Pittman went to the same college. It was like a local college. I could be wrong. And I don't know if any of them ever went back later, because I don't think that they finished. But like I said, I could be wrong. I was trying to look it up again for this. This is something that I saw in like an article months ago, and then I was trying to look it up again, and I couldn't find the info in prep for this episode.
Okay. Well, my point was, yeah, going away to college is confirmed fiction, but it's really about a relationship. It focuses on how he's feeling going away to college and leaving his girlfriend behind. There's just what happens to be one line in College Kids. College Kids, the Relient K song, is an all-encompassing, like, pastiche of the whole college experience.
Yes.
That's kind of makes it more of a fun song.
Yeah.
Overall, like, I think they're both great songs.
Although
Musically,
I
but
did
lyrically, College Kids is kind of like here's all the things. It's almost like I was gonna say Seinfeld, but Seinfeld. It's almost whatever it was, whatever our voicemail said. It's like a Seinfeld bit. It's like, here's all the things about college. It's like a stand-up routine.
Right.
That's what College Kids, the song College Kids, it's like here's a bunch of stuff, from college.
And it's definitely not a love letter to college. And that's something that I for sure embraced during some of my earlier time in college, before I met Danny and before we got into sort of our classes that went over what we were there to learn. When we were sort of in those core classes, I was struggling a little bit, and I would just like drive around and like shout this song about how I'm like, it's not for me. Call it torture. Call it university. This is torture. I just want to be learning filmmaking. Why do I have to learn all this other stuff? Who needs math?
Exactly. So we're sort of touching on this lyric anyway, but there's the one lyric where he says, my girlfriend's at another school. I know this year will test her. I found out she had 3 other boyfriends last semester. So that line, for many years, I pictured in my mind Katie Hudson, because I had no idea that they broke up, because as we talked about when we talked about what was it, the song that's confirmed, the one I'm waiting for. When we talked about the one I'm waiting for, and that song's confirmed about Katy Perry, and I talked about how, because I was like fan friends with the band in the early 2000s, I met Katy Perry, and had no idea who she was. Didn't even know in the context of the Christian record industry who she was. It's just, that's Matt Thiessen's girlfriend, and she seems really cool, and I met her, and I talked to her just like I talked to the rest of the band. And then I never knew they broke up. As far as I knew, they were still together. Even when Katy Perry started appearing in like MTV and stuff, I didn't know that was her. I didn't connect it. It took years to connect it. It wasn't until like 2011 or 2012 that 2011 or 2012 we actually figured it out. So I was like, oh, for years I'd been picturing her, even though obviously this must not work out time-wise way anyway.
Yeah,
because
I don't think it does.
They went to college years before.
Right.
But that's my point, is she was the only girlfriend relationship I was ever, and I don't care about any of my band's significant others, who they're with, who they're dating. I don't need to know any of that.
It's just about the music, man.
If I find, and even like my friends and like people I've met, like if it's like Schrodinger's relationship, like until you open, I meet a couple, you put them in a box, and and I don't know if they're broken up or still together until you open up that box. Did you get that at all? Schrodinger's cat.
No.
It's kind of a sad thing. It's a mental experiment about a possibly dead cat, but there's no actual dead cat.
No, I'm good.
It's like if you put a cat in a box, you don't know if it's dead or alive in there until you open the box. And it'll always be alive until you confirm one or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how people last in my head. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's my point.
Sorry, I didn't take philosophy in college.
That's okay. I don't know if maybe it's a philosophy thing. I'm not sure. I think it's also
or psychology
science.
or whatever.
I think it's also kind of like a science. I don't know enough about this, but it's probably.
I know about Pavlov's dog, though.
That's one. That's science. That's definitely science. Anyway.
What was your favorite subject in college? Call us up, 402-95 Sadie.
Oh, I thought you were asking me. So I feel like we barely talked about the song, but my experience with college, as I hinted at before, was I graduated high school in 2001, pre 9/11, like the spring before 9/11. Jessica would obviously be in high school for a couple more years.
Actually, I was in middle school when you graduated from high school. He's just staring at me like uncomfortably.
We've already talked about this so many times. You were 18 when I met you.
Yeah.
And I was 23?
I don't remember.
Whatever. It wasn't
not inappropriate.
Not too inappropriate. It's not inappropriate now.
Boys mature a lot more slowly than girls do. So going up just a little bit is just fine once you're 18. It's totally all good.
Whatevs.
Works out better that way.
Whatevs. Anyway, we met in college. We met in the same freshman year of college, so that's all that matters.
It is.
We were mentally the same age.
Exactly.
So what else were we saying? What was I even saying before you totally derailed
whatever
I was talking about?
College kids.
College kids. So yeah.
It's funny because I don't know if you're going to talk about the lyrics or not, but I was like, I don't even need the lyrics open. I know all the lyrics. Like, this is one of those songs.
Right. So then go ahead. I got them up. Start reading them to me.
Oh, no.
See how good you are.
Someone please save us college kids.
Right.
What my parents told me is what I did.
Uh-huh.
They said, go to school and be a college kid.
Are those the words they put it in?
But in the end, I question why I did.
Do you think his parents were actually like, hey, go be a college kid? No, they were like, hey, go to college.
Yeah.
We can
go to college. You need a degree for everything nowadays.
Yeah. And then when you're done with college, make up a bunch of copies of your resume and go door to door, shake hands, start asking.
Yeah.
That's not how people hire ever.
Nope.
Not even,
anymore.
Not even barely in 2003.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing. My parents were like, oh, just print out your resume and,
hit every store in the mall.
Hit every store in the mall. And I'm like, until you can get a job in film, just hit every store in the mall and go get a job. And I was like, okay, that's not how it works. There's this thing called the internet. And
they want you to apply there.
And I was like, all right, fine. So I did it just to humor them. And every single place I went to was like, go online. We have a website. Like, we don't, what are we going to do with your resume?
I bet you in their minds, they were like, well, everyone may go to the internet to apply for that store now, but if you show up in person with a paper resume, that'll show you've got a real go-getter attitude.
Some places even have like a business card that has the actual website on it where it's like, www.glamourshots.com/jobs or whatever. That was a place that I went to. It's funny, you and I actually share two alma maters.
Oh.
The school, the school where we met, and then where you got your accounting degree.
That's right.
Because when I was in high school, I did something called dual enrollment, where for the second half of your junior year and then all your senior year, you can take college courses, and that's something that I did.
Smarty pants. She always lords that over me.
I did not.
So you're asking where I went in 2003. When I was because I was like, when I graduated high school, and we've talked about how I almost didn't graduate high school. I kind of graduated by the skin of my teeth over the summer of senior year. Everyone told me I'm a very bright guy, but it was just a really bad senior year. So when I was done, I was like, well, I had a horrible senior year in my personal life. Like, I'm not really searching for colleges. So I just worked at Barnes & Noble for a while. And then eventually I went to a community college. And that community college was it's funny because it was Middlesex Community College in Massachusetts. And like when I started going, I was now like a year or two out of high school. But so many kids there, even though they were only like a year younger than me or whatever, they all still seemed like high schoolers to me. Like I'd only been in the quote unquote real world for 1 year.
Right.
But so many of the kids there who were probably my age, they were like, it's community college. It's commuter school. There's no dorms. But they would be there, and they'd be there all day. Like, they'd bring their video game. They'd bring, like, their based off the year, like, their GameCube with, like, a fighting game, and they'd be playing it in the common area. I'm like, this is so weird because these kids are acting like this is a real college.
Wait, GameCubes had portable editions?
No, they just brought a GameCube.
Oh.
GameCubes are real small. They were like no bigger than a bread box.
To hook up to a TV
up to the TV.
Weird.
And there's like a common room.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. It is weird because there's so many people were there acting like it was a real school. And I'm like, I go to work and then I come here.
Danny.
Yeah.
Danny.
Sorry to Middlesex Community College.
Community college is a real college.
I know. It's a real degree at the end. They don't just make you make one in calligraphy.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's not like a dorm college. It's not like people were acting like they lived there.
Right.
And I'm like, don't you just drive here and park and then go to your class and then leave and then go to Wendy's or something?
Yeah, but maybe they lived like an hour away and they had another class later that day and they didn't want to drive all the way home.
Well, I guess that's true.
College kids.
College kids. So let's talk about college kids more.
Danny, do you have a favorite college memory?
Meeting you.
Damn it, that was mine.
Did you think I really wasn't going to say meeting you?
I didn't know. I thought maybe you'd at least think a little longer on it.
Why would I?
Well, I'm glad that we agree.
Yeah. Do I have any other favorite? What's my second favorite college memory?
I didn't think that far ahead when I asked the question. We made a lot of really good friends.
Yes.
Yeah, friends that we still talk to today.
Yep. We made lots of inside jokes, which is what our generation called memes. We had a lot of inside memes.
Cool story, bro. You should tell it at parties.
Yeah. That's one of them.
That was definitely a thing said back in the day.
Remember when we were in college, there was that very, very short window of a fad to wear two baseball hats on top of each other?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. And the double, like, pop collar thing came back for, like, a hot second.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw Relient K a couple times during college as well.
Yeah.
That's when I saw the Panic with a K tour.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I've never talked about? This actually works perfectly. So, I've said before how... I know I sound like a dick every time I keep repeating this. But I was, like, fan friends with Relient K when they would still come out and talk to you.
You mentioned it earlier in this episode.
I know! And it sounds like I'm humble bragging. But I'm not. I'm just setting up the story.
He's not doing it to you. He's doing it to me. He's like, I hung out with Relient K.
I don't have many, like, particular memories left of conversations or things that happened. And I think to myself sometimes, people are like, this guy's bragging. But anyone could. And I realize in hindsight, and I've said this before, they made me feel special as a fan. They made me and my friends feel special as fans. But they were like a ministry at the time, big time. And like that's kind of what you do as a ministry, is you fellowship with people and you talk to them and you thank them for coming. And then you remember their names. So if you come back through town again, you kind of remember. So, you know... At the same time, they were incredibly nice guys, and it was just really cool. And I was friends with lots of like other local and smaller bands, and things like this were similar. They were just the biggest band I was like fan friends with. Whatever. They're making me feel stupid and guilty, which is awful because this next story, I don't have many of these stories I haven't told left, but this one, if you don't like care or believe me about hanging out with Relient K when they come through, you're really gonna think this one's BS. This one sounds ridiculous. But I mentioned previously how the last time I had a conversation with a member of Relient K was 2005 Warped Tour. We talked about hoops. The last time I communicated directly with a member of Relient K was right after I moved to Florida for college. The Panic with a K tour came through the Orlando Hard Rock with MXPX and Relient K. So I'm like, I definitely got to go to that show. And luckily I didn't have any classes then. So I go, and Matt Thiessen sees me in the crowd, and I'm like in the second row, and he kind of like double takes. He's like, oh, and I have something else to add to this in a second. He sees me, and he's like kind of double takes, and he's like, okay, I recognize that person. Like, oh, and it maybe took him a second to realize who I was. And in between songs or something, he looks at me and he mouths, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, I'm like, school. But the music's too loud.
I'm a college kid.
So I'm a college kid. I didn't think of it that way. And he's like, okay, and then he's like, he nods to me, and I'm like, oh, cool. And I still thought that night, like, oh, Relient K's probably gonna walk around. No, because by then they were like kind of too big to like necessarily just be hanging out at the merch table.
Was out, so.
And I didn't really understand that at the time.
Aww.
So I didn't actually see them. I did see Mike Herrera later that night walking around City Walk, Universal City Walk, but I didn't see any of the members of Relient K that night. But that's the last time I communicated in person with a member of Relient K. Now, as I mentioned that story, I'm reminded of a very recent, of like in the last couple episodes of the Mike Herrera podcast. I don't remember who Mike Herrera was talking to. I think it might have been the guy from Authority Zero. It was. The lead singer of Authority Zero. Mike Herrera was interviewing him. And they were talking about, because Mike Herrera didn't remember the first time he met the lead singer of Authority Zero, the first time Authority Zero opened for them years ago. And he's like, oh, sorry. And the guy from Authority Zero is like, no, it's totally cool. I understand, because I have memories. I don't, people, that I'm supposed to remember and I don't remember. And they're kind of like talking about that, about being a band and like talking to people all over the country and remembering some of them and not remembering other ones that expect you to remember them. And then he says, and then one of them says, I don't remember which one says this, is like, and isn't like the weirdest thing when like a guy that is in a certain city suddenly shows up at a completely different city and then you're thrown for a loop because you're like, wait, which guy is this? Because he's not in the city I expected, or am I in the city I thought I wasn't? And when they said that, I thought of this thing because Matt Thiessen was used to seeing me at every show in New England, and this is the first and only time I saw him directly, and he recognized me at a show outside of New England, so that probably did throw him for a loop. And that was college for me. That's my number 2 favorite college memory, other than meeting you.
Aw. What about when you skipped class? I think we mentioned this last week, when you skipped class to go to the Relient K show.
So we were in a film school. We had like class schedules that were not traditional, right? And they also had, and so most colleges don't make a perfect attendance thing.
Right.
But because these were sort of more accelerated courses that could be at any time of the day, 24 hours a day, you could have a class.
And it was also year-round schooling.
Yeah.
They kind of wanted to get you prepared for, like, set life and the fact that, you would be filming it. You can do overnight shoots and things like that.
Right, and they wouldn't want you, and they were, like, trying to teach you, like, don't not show up for a gig, basically.
Right.
So they were taking their classes, like, don't just not show up for a gig. You got to show up for your gigs.
And they would actually rent their personal studio space out to other, like, local productions and stuff.
Right.
So you kind of had to work around that schedule as well.
Point is, unlike many other colleges, they had a perfect attendance award you could get. And
I think we mentioned this last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember. No, yeah. It was in our it was in our bonus episode. I think we mentioned it. Whatever. Point is, I was on my way to possibly getting the perfect attendance award, but then we had this one class that was such BS nonsense. The teacher was so stupid. Wait, are you thinking of us discussing it with our friend John the other day?
Oh no, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
We were hanging out with our friend John, who we met at this school, who lives here in LA now, and we were talking about this memory. So I was in this one class where the teacher was just such a weirdo in the worst way. Not weirdo in a fun way where it's like, oh, this is hilarious because they're kind of strange. Sorry if saying weirdo seems ableist, but they were just a very strange person. And it was like, this class is literally nothing. This class is air. This class is pointless. And Relient K was playing at Cornerstone, Florida. And I was like, first of all, I wanted to go to Cornerstone, Florida because there were other bands I wanted to see that day. I like Project 86 was there. Family Force 5 was there. Relient K was headlining. I'm like, I'm not missing the day. I never got to go to the actual Cornerstone. And so I'm like, I'm going to Cornerstone, Florida. And I went.
Sorry, I thought I heard, I keep thinking I'm hearing like a crow or something. And I'm like,
I heard some sort of sound too, but
yeah, and
you
I'm
have
like,
super hearing because you're wearing.
What's going on?
Anyway.
Apologies for interrupting.
Anyway, point is, I purposefully threw away my chance of getting a perfect attendance award at our college by going to see Relient K.
You're so punk.
Yeah. No, Family Force 5 wasn't at the day that I skipped because you came to
I
me
went
the
with
other
you.
day.
Yeah.
David Crowder was there that day. Yeah. Who else was there the day that I went by myself? Who cares?
Rocket Summer was there the day we went together.
Right.
Rocket Summer, Family Force 5. I can't think of any.
So you weren't there for Project 86. I wouldn't have made you sit through Project 86.
I was going to get perfect attendance, and then I got mono and fell asleep in my car on a break. Not from Danny. I got mono, fell asleep in my car on a break, and my roommate was supposed to come and wake me up when it was time for class to start. She didn't. So I was 10 minutes late, and that discredited my perfect attendance.
Yeah. BS.
I'm not bitter about it at all.
Yes, you are.
surprised. I feel like we totally had this conversation on the podcast.
No, I think we had it with our friend in real life. Do you think all of life is just one big podcast?
I mean, isn't it though, Danny? When you really stop and
That's
think about it.
That's what Shakespeare said. He said, all the world is a podcast.
He did.
So, I don't have like a ton to say about the music in the song. It's just a cool pop rock, pop punk song.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's peppy. It's like the worst way to probably describe something. But it's just like a fun song. It's relatable, especially to our generation and generations going forward of the like, you have to go to college, mentality.
Yeah, should we talk about that? Should we talk about college debt? And is that the topics we want to get into?
No. I have a deep dive.
Oh, good. I have. Do you want to read some Genius Notes real quick before we do your deep dive?
Let's do it.
So, of Someone Please Save Us College Kids.
Oh boy.
This contributor, whose name I do not see, says, speaking on behalf of all college kids, Matt just wants help. Perhaps he wishes for help with his grades, or maybe he wants to be done with school altogether. Oh, another.
They address this later in the song, where he's like, my dad knows the dean. I'm just going to call him up. Maybe he can help me out. It's time to call my father. It's his alma mater.
I just realized another punk song.
Good grades aren't what they seem.
No, they aren't. Another punk song about college, but not going to college, Doing Time by MXPX.
Oh.
Because he's like, I'm done. I did my time. I'm going on tour. I'm not going to college. It's also Money Tree. Same theme. Never going to be your money tree.
Right on.
Yep. They don't play that song anymore. It had a music video and everything, and they don't really acknowledge that song happened. Doing Time they do. That's like a hit. So of the line, what my parents told me is what I did. Now, I don't know if you have a hard time wrapping your head around that lyric.
I mean, it's really confusing.
But this contributor says his parents wanted him to attend school, so he did. He's living out the dreams of his parents, even though he doesn't share those dreams with them. Wow, this is like one of those increasingly verbose memes, where like something starts out as a sentence like, hello to you, sir. And then the next one is like, good day to you, the person that I see here. And why am I explaining memes? And then it just gets more and more lengthy and wordy.
This is kind of like when I post a picture on Instagram and I'm like, oh, Danny, help me caption this. What should the caption for this be? And then Danny's like, this is a photo of my husband and I and our dog April. We are having a lovely day here in California. Los Angeles, California, that is.
That's one of my favorite inside memes.
And he does it every single time.
One more Genius annotation. There's a bunch more, but I'll just read this one. Of the line, I'll take calligraphy and then I'll make a fake degree. Calligraphy, the visual art pertaining to writing. Thiessen wants to forge a document saying that he completed college. Stephen W. says in response to that, ironically, one of the classes Steve Jobs actually attended in college before completely dropping out of was a calligraphy class.
It's not ironic.
And look where he ended up. No, it's not ironic. It's coincidental. Thank you. That is...
It's like rain on your wedding day.
Yeah, that's barely... Yeah, you know what? Because everyone... This is the problem. It's like rain. Yeah. The problem is everyone says ironically when what they mean is coincidentally. This is not even a coincidence. So there's a Christian rock song from 2003 that mentions how he wants to take calligraphy class. Is it a coincidence that someone took calligraphy? I don't care if it's Steve Jobs or not. You don't understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just laughing at the the fire behind your eyes.
Billions of people take calligraphy classes, whether or not Matt Thiessen wrote that line. Yeah. The fact that one of those billions of people is famous is in no way coincidental, much less ironic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stephen W. from 4 years ago. College kids.
Was that it?
Do you want me to go through a couple more?
I don't know. I feel like I finally understand when I sit across the table from you every week and I'm like, so I have another review, Danny.
Right.
And I'm like, you want to hear it? And you're like, I don't know, Jessica. I don't know. That's how I feel right now. Like, do I want to hear more Genius annotations? No. But maybe? Just morbid curiosity, I guess.
I'll skip back and I'll say something else I forgot to mention. When I said that this song sounds one of the most Blink-182 adjacent, it really all stems from that final, like, sort of bell sound that, I don't know if it's actually a bell, but it just sounds reminiscent. You know what I'm talking about? Like that striking sound, dun, and then it goes in reverse after that. Whatever instrument is creating that sound, whether it's a guitar that's
I thought it was just a guitar.
Yeah, it's probably just a guitar that has like a harmonic sound that maybe is bell-like. It kind of sounds like a bell to me. It always has. I don't know. Whatever. The point is, it reminds me of, there's a couple of Blink-182 songs that are known for having that organ underneath. Damn It being the most famous one. And then they'll often end with that organ note sustaining through the end, and Damn It again is one of the most famous examples of that. Wendy Clear is another one.
This is going to be David Park's favorite episode.
I was mentioning Blink-182 almost every week in like the first 8 weeks or something, and then the first episode where I didn't mention Blink-182, I like tweeted it. I'm like, look out, folks, here it comes.
And yet you also give people a hard time every week when they're like, the wannabe Blink-182 band in reviews.
I'm not saying...
I'm just teasing you, Dan.
That they couldn't be influenced by Blink-182. There was apparently at the Orlando show that you were at, Thiessen was playing a Tom DeLonge signature guitar. I didn't realize this until I posted footage of that, and then David Park commented, and he's like, oh, he's playing a Tom DeLonge signature guitar. I'm like, oh, okay. See? Everyone likes music, and everyone can like the same bands. I'm just saying, when people are like, this band is ripping off Blink, I don't think they're ripping off Blink-182.
I was just trying to think about what's like another band that I really like that I could talk about all the time on the podcast now. Def Leppard.
Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
That's your favorite band.
Yeah. No. That was high school Jessica's favorite singer.
Right.
Not so much anymore.
Well, you talk about Lana Del Rey.
I do talk about Lana Del Rey a lot. All right, fair. Carry on.
Well, why don't we get into your deep dive?
Okay, sounds good. Well, this song ranked number 12 on the Odyssey Online's 12 Relient K songs for college survival. Not number 1, mind you. Number 12.
I don't even know if they have another song. What's number 1?
High of 75.
What?
Here's their reasoning. From their album, this song is all about how the weather has been bipolar, and so have you.
Oh my gosh, it's like a genius annotation.
This is for the times in college where the highs and lows are extreme, and there seems to be no in-between. Relient K perfectly captures this feeling in this song.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Devastation and Reform. This song is for those days where you feel like you just cannot get it right and you keep making the wrong decisions. It's a good jam to get the aggression and frustration that comes with this life situations released. Sure. 3, Crayons Can Melt on Us for All I Care.
It's our outro song.
Crayons can melt on us for all I care.
I thought you said it weird on purpose. You said crayons.
Crayons can melt on us.
Crayons. Is that how you always say it? Say it again.
Crayon.
Now you said it right on purpose. You concentrated.
Crayons can melt on us.
Yeah, that's a weird song to be number 3. I'm sorry.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Used to have a little bit of a southern accent. Not so much anymore, but yeah.
What's that image? Because it looks like Fugazi. It's like all lit like...
It's hoops
looks like
from
the cover
underneath.
of Instrument.
It's hoops from underneath.
Okay. That's very spooky.
For times where you wasted your time in procrastination. You wasted your time in procrastination.
It's like, I mean, obviously, I'm sorry. I didn't really understand how that's... I do understand how that's weird, but I didn't go along with you on it. Yeah. It's like, oh man, college is really rough. Let me put on the third best song that'll help me unwind. And it's 10 seconds long. It's like, oh, much better.
4, I Need You. 5, Bite My Tongue. 6, Therapy. 7, Sadie Hawkins Dance. Sadie Hawkins Dance. Number 7. Though colleges don't do Sadie Hawkins, this is a good song to listen to when reminiscing about the good old cringy high school days. 8. Mood Rings. A silly song about how people can be moody and it's hard to read how exactly someone is feeling. In college, you meet people from different backgrounds, different majors, and different moods. Okay, maybe it's just because of the kind of college that we went to, but the people that I met in college, I finally was like, oh, I found my people. Like, I felt so out of place with, like, everyone that I knew in high school. Mm-hmm. And I finally got to college and was like, now I found people who get me, and I get them, and it's great. April. She's weighing in. She agrees. She's like, you stop. You didn't meet me in college. What are you talking about? 9, Trademark. 10, Gibberish. 11, Air for Free. This is a good song for the times when you just need rest and you can't get it. All right. And then 12, College Kids. Just listen to it. Trust me, you need a good laugh.
Clickbait. It seems like clickbait to me. Seems like there wasn't a lot of real thought put into it. I don't know. We didn't read every accompanying paragraph.
Yeah. Number 1 should have been College Kids.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Or at least like number 2.
Right. No, number 1, Danny. I don't accept it. Just don't. So you and I love parody songs. We're both big Weird Al fans. Oh. You know, we spend a lot of our free time making up parody songs.
I've been waiting for
usually
this.
About April.
Yeah.
Now, this week I found it's not. I have to like read the lyrics to you.
Yeah,
it's
that's
printed,
what I assumed.
But
because I've been looking for parodies on YouTube every week, and I never find them. And there's got to be one Relient K parody out there.
Well,
I think one
here
time
it is. It's called High School Kids.
Oh, nice. One time we did find a YouTube video labeled Relient K, whatever song we were doing parody, and it was just them lip syncing the song and acting goofy. I'm like, this isn't a parody.
That's not what a parody is. Andrew needs to call up with some more parodies.
Oh, that's right.
So they say, I had this idea strike me my first visit here during class today.
Is that a
to
haiku?
look at a friend's parody. Okay. This is on amiright.com. Making fun of music one song at a time since the year 2000. So I guess this is like if you're a place to come to post song parodies or something. I don't know. So this is by J.C. Reich. Someone please save us. Us high school kids. What my teacher told me is what I did. They said, shut your mouth and watch the science vid. But in the end, I just shut my eyelids. Okay.
All right.
I'm in programming and the clock is reading 10:19. I'm really glad I took that semester course in speed typing. It might not be so bad if I were a jock because they always seem to have a pretty girl pinned up against a locker in the hallways.
Okay. Well, so first of all, disturbing imagery. Second of all, way too many syllables for that line.
Yeah. Lost a little bit of the tempo there. Oh no, not for me, not for me. Who needs hooky when these classes are so easy? Oh, this parody. Cody, you owe me a freaking cookie. And just now I found that I have not learned something for my final, but it was from my midterm. So I guess I don't really need to pay attention. I can easily get by with an average memory retention. And that's why I say, oh no, not for me, not for me. Who needs hooky when these classes are so easy? Oh, this parody. Cody, you owe me a freaking cookie. Don't get into...
universal concept for all high schoolers when Cody owes them a freaking cookie.
I guess this was written for their friend Cody, maybe, perhaps.
Okay.
That's just, I'm pulling that subtext out of this. Mm-hmm. Don't get into an uproar or report my friend for truancy. There's a place for school, it's just not in my vicinity.
There's a place for school off of Ocean Avenue. That's what I started thinking when you...
There's a place for school, it's just not in my vicinity.
It's where I used to sit and talk to you.
It makes me nauseous and really, really bored. I don't want to learn the nomenclature of a gourd. Nomenclature of a gourd. Only 3 more weeks till summer. I've lost like where we are in the song.
That's okay. I don't know how much more is worth going through.
Only 3 more weeks till summer, but I don't think I'm getting dumber. What was that, Mr. Teach? I'm not typing anything.
This is like stream of consciousness. This isn't how parodies work. Can you imagine if it's like, I'm going to do a parody of Party in the USA, and it's like, hey, everybody, I'm having a real crazy day. I went to school, and my grades were not what I expected, and next thing you know, the teacher's telling me, hey, what's the matter with you? And then you're reading, and then you're like, this doesn't fit Party in the USA at all.
Okay, so don't get into an uproar or report my mind for truancy. There's a place for school, it's just not in my vicinity. It makes me nauseous and really, really, really bored. I don't want to learn the nomenclature or whatever you said of a gourd. Only 3 more weeks till summer, but I think I'm getting dumber. What was that, Mr. Teach? I'm not typing anything.
Yep. Teaching thing, yep.
Only 3 more weeks till summer, but I think I'm getting dumber. They say I'm learning things, but I'd prefer to daydream. And at 3:12, the get out bell will ring.
It's such a challenge to make this work.
And then it repeats the oh no, not for me. Who needs hooky? That's not really how you would state that. Who needs hooky?
You would want hooky.
Who needs to play hooky?
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever think of hooky without the word play
in
front of it. And then, back into someone please save us as high school kids. But my teacher told me to shut your mouth. Watch
Is there anything else good? Because
I do absolutely nothing but rot in this chair. Why do I have to be chained to it when my mind's out there? I do absolutely nothing but rot in this chair. I'll go take my SATs while you get GEDs. Sound fair?
Well, you get STDs. Sound fair? I'm parodying the parody.
Apparently, I didn't actually scroll down to the bottom of this page.
Right.
So people can vote on this.
Oh, nice.
And for pacing, out of 10 votes, people give it a 3.5 for pacing, a 3.7 for how funny, and an overall rating of 3.7.
That's crazy because the parody that I put on IamIRight.com like 15 years ago didn't get a single vote ever. I'm not kidding.
Oh, so
I'm familiar with AmIRight.com.
Oh, you are? Wait, I thought you were kidding.
Oh my
gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my
gosh. So here's the thing. I had these parody lyrics for She Has a Girlfriend Now by Real Big Fish going back probably 20 years. And nothing to do with them because I can't play music, so I can't record a parody.
Danny sung this song to me.
Yes.
For years now.
Yes.
I had no idea it was published on the internet somewhere.
Well, the thing was, I forgot because, like I said, I couldn't record it. I didn't know what to do with it. And then one day I discovered AmIRight.com, but I forgot it was called AmIRight.com for the last 10, 15 years. And then when you said AmIRight.com has parodies, I'm like, I wonder. Literally, I'm sitting here I've looked for it because I've typed in.
Is this the only one you ever wrote? Am I going to come across one of you posted for Relient K at some point in time and just absolutely have my mind blown?
I think this is the only one I ever wrote. But basically what happened was I uploaded this to this website and then I lost what the website was. I didn't remember what it was called. I just found it was the parody site. And I Googled in quotation marks, it's called She's Into Emo Now. And I'd looked for that song and it never came up in Google results. I don't know why, but maybe my page wasn't indexed. Apparently no one ever voted for I can't believe no one's voted for my song ever. Man.
Do you want to read?
Apparently I was wrong.
Do you want to read your lyrics, Dan?
At least yes, I do want to read them, but at least I found out that only 790 people have ever looked at my page in 2 decades.
Oh, wow. That's still a lot.
So, I don't know when, it doesn't say when I posted it, but at the time I wrote it, this was my intro. I wrote these parody lyrics about 8 years ago when the term emo and emo music hadn't degraded into the now more mainstream use of referring to pseudo-goth dumbasses. This is MySpace. This is pre-MySpace, Danny. The kind of early emo scene I'm referring to in this parody is essentially artsy post-punk dumbassness. See, I was ironic there. I put the same dumbass. That's pretty funny. The kind of kids who wore Salvation Army sweaters, horn-rimmed glasses, and listened to Jets to Brazil. I want to shoot myself in the head right now. Not the kids today that wear all black, cut themselves, and listen to My Chemical Romance.
Not cool, dude.
No, I know. When they could just as easily be listening to Slipknot. That's a pretty good observation, I think. So in the lyrics, and this is not a Real Big Fish podcast, although, as I said, they sit right next to each other on my CD shelf, next to Relient K. The lyrics are, she's into emo now, she's into emo now, she's into emo now, she said, ska don't do no more for me. And the female part sings, you know it's dead now, you know that music is through, whoa. The guy says, I said it's not dead, baby, I'll blow this horn till I'm blue. I'm laughing because I hate myself. This is pretty funny. She said she found music that's meant to make her sad. She said she found music that isn't just a fad. She don't need no rude boy to be her man. She don't need no rude boy to be her man. That's a pretty good line. She don't need no rude boy to be her man.
This is wonderful.
She said she found... Oh, yeah, I read that. It's just a lot of repeats then of everything I just read. The bridge. Well, I never thought that you'd get so bored just 'cause my band has horns. I'll mope around, I'll wear a frown. Wear nothing but sweaters just for you. I had an alternate line where you say the actual line that goes there where it says, even cut my penis off for you. Mm-hmm. And then the girl would go, oh, that's the most emo thing of all. But I'm speaking for Danny of 20 years ago and deciding that I probably didn't want to put the word penis in my song.
But you would use dumbass
2002
3 times.
I put this on online 2002. There's the year. Yeah, I would say dumbasses.
Do we have to bleep that out? How many bleeps are we up to now? Jeez.
Well, I don't know. I always say we bleep the swears when they're gratuitous. And although it might have been gratuitous when I wrote it, I am just repeating what was said 18 years ago.
I suppose that's true.
And then I felt the need to put this in here. And this is good for David Park to hear because I said, note, Real Big Fish is known to play a small portion of some unrelated song right before going into the breakdown that leads into the bridge. I'm such an asshole. We're going to delete that. I like to think for this version of the song, it would be the chorus to The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. Copyright 2002, Daniel J. Leary. MySpace.com/Danny Hates MySpace.
Was MySpace around in 2002? Did you have a MySpace then?
I guess so.
Wow. I thought that came out in 04 or 05. Did you update it later?
I must have updated it later and I don't remember doing that.
Wow.
Copyright 2002.
Do you have any comments? Because
no.
High school kids has comments.
No, I can't believe.
Man, I'm going to have to go make an account now just to give you some love.
No one likes me.
Well, be happy because you could have comments
the listeners shouldn't like me anymore either.
You could have comments like this one from Frankenhate. You smell.
Oh, wow.
And then Jonathan S. said, not bad. Interesting choice for an OSP to parody. Believe it or not, I've actually heard it. Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm just guessing from context.
I think you're right. And then J.C. Reich, who wrote the parody, wrote, wow, comments. Woot. Thanks, John. I want to hug you all. You're mean, Mr. Frankenhate. He then went on to write, oh, that might have been someone else. I'm not really sure, because then it says J.C. Reich, the real one, in parentheses, says, thanks, me number 2. Which side of my subconscious do you dwell in? Matt Flora wrote, dude, shut up. RK_fan_forever said, this song was pretty bad. It didn't follow the original pacing at all, in caps. Sorry. And then Yearbook Weirdo said, who the hell is Cody? I don't care, but he owes me a cookie too. So yeah, that was, wow. I'm so excited that this rabbit hole led us
to something so personal and damaging. I'm so canceled for that cut yourself line.
I mean, yes, but also like that was...
It was literally a fashion statement. Yeah, it wasn't even a joke.
Upsetting.
Like people would talk about it like it was like getting an earring.
You could have said like "cry emo boy cry" or something there. I guess, you know.
That's your phrase. I don't use that phrase.
You don't remember that phrase?
I remember that phrase.
It's all upsetting. Unfortunately, so I did come across a review, but before I get there, like the really interesting sounding stuff, like a letter from brother to sister at college led to yet again Russian spam sites. And there was one that was bad boy band songs list that again just led to like spying on your Apple phone messages and stuff. Uh-oh. So unfortunately, I might be being spied on now, and also didn't actually get to read any of those interesting things. So, okay, appropriately, we have a college review for this song, but yet again, stop me if you've heard it before, because it sounded familiar, but like a lot of these songs have similar talking points. And like that the authors always like to hit on, so I'm not 100% certain. Mm-hmm. Some of it sounded familiar and some of it didn't. So yeah, I wasn't sure if we talked about this with any of the other Three Lefts notes. So
okay.
From Baylor University, Relient K has playful punk sound. This was published by Kevin Chandler, April 9th, 2003. With pop-punk sounds and playful creative lyrics, Relient K could become the next MXPX.
Yep. We did read this review before.
Did we for sure? Because
yes,
some of the later parts did not sound...
I mean, maybe we skipped around depending on what song we discussed it on, but I 100% remember that first sentence.
All right. Well, just in case...
Well, let's go through it.
Just in case everybody doesn't remember.
We got new listeners, and in a way, every week we're our own new listeners because we don't remember what we've already talked about.
The thing is that I do keep in my notes the links, and I could not find the link to this article. Oh. Now, the first few episodes we did, I was not keeping the links. Like, I just had tabs open, and then I'd close them when we finished the song.
Episode.
Yeah, so I mean...
Because I don't even think I'd fully mentioned I was MXPX Memes yet, for anyone who didn't know that.
Okay. So, yeah.
I don't know why I was like... I mean, to keep that a secret.
Their third CD, Two Lefts Don't Make a Right, but Three Do, arrives on the heels of their highly acclaimed second album and could propel them to stardom. Relient K spent more than a year touring and making a name for themselves all over the country. They've shared the stage with groups like Newfound Glory and Good Charlotte and play more than 200 shows a year, touring with Switchfoot, Five Iron Frenzy, and the Orange County Supertones. I've
seen all those tours.
They even recorded a song called Sadie Hawkins Dance for the TV show Smallville. They didn't record it for Smallville, but all right. This is where it did not sound familiar to me because I don't remember talking about Smallville before.
No, maybe not. Maybe
I would absolutely remember that.
Maybe it's just a very similar first sentence.
Because I did not know. This was news to me that... This was used on Smallville because
that was not news to me. I remember the night it was on Smallville, or the weeks leading up to it, there was like message chatter on Relient K message boards, maybe on their official website. Don't remember exactly where it was because it's a pre-Twitter social media world.
Do you remember what season?
Early, because I have a very, very vivid, clear memory of like walking around the house. My sister is watching Smallville because she watched all the WB shows. And thinking, even though I was Superman, I was still like, it's still a WB show. I don't really want to watch it.
Smallville was like my favorite show for a while.
Yeah.
I think I only watched the first 2 seasons though. I'm not really sure when I stopped. It was definitely very early on though.
Right. And I think I remember because every episode, I don't know if I'm sure these little bumpers were not saved when you watch it on Netflix or on DVD. But when Smallville would end from when I would see it there'd be a little bumper at the end that'd be like, tonight's episode featured music by My Chemical Romance.
Right.
And it would show
Yeah.
the cover of the album and like go out and get the album. And then I remember not wanting to watch the episode because I just didn't want to hang out with my sister watching CW WB. And then, but I waited for the end of the episode because I wanted to see that bumper with Relient K, but they did not have that bumper. They did not say tonight's episode featured music by Relient K and then show the album cover.
Yeah, they used to do that. And then they would also, and I don't believe that they do it anymore because I still watch some CW shows, but for a while there, they had like a pop-up thing underneath over the image that told you what song you were listening to.
Right.
And I'm like, we already have like Shazam and things like that. I don't need you to tell me. Okay, so they even recorded a song called Sadie Hawkins Dance for the TV show Smallville, and their song Pressin' On was used in Big Air Freestyle for Nintendo GameCube. Relient K's last album, The Anatomy of the Tongue-in-Cheek, was a big hit, topping the Contemporary Christian Music magazine charts and reaching the Billboard Top 40 Heat Seekers chart. Two Left should have the same amount of success. Relient K consists of Matthew Thiessen on guitar and lead vocals, Matthew Hoops on guitar and background vocals, Brian Pittman on bass, and Dave Douglas on drums and
Can you repeat all that? I missed that info. Repeat that for me.
Well,
just kidding.
You might know in a minute, Dan, because all of whom hail from, you know where? Canton, Ohio.
But wait, what as a group, what gender would you describe them as being from Canton, Ohio?
You know, they didn't go into that, so I'm a little I'm confused, now.
Well, I'm not sure of their pronoun, but I'm assuming that they're the boys from Canton, Ohio.
Their sound is very similar to a lot of other popular punk bands. The listener will hear what sounds faintly of Blink-182, then a Good Charlotte rhythm, and finally a Newfound Glory harmony. With pop punk on the rise, it is very easy to make comparisons. Is it? But Relient K still has... apparently it is. But Relient K still has enough talent and originality to stand out in the crowd of new artists. I would not say that they have rhythm like Good Charlotte.
No, because Good Charlotte has a very particular rhythm.
It does, and it's not this.
No, not at all.
I'm trying to think of who... Simple Plan wouldn't be a good comparison, but
no,
it's definitely... They don't sound like Good Charlotte.
No, because Relient K doesn't have an actual pop punk rhythm.
No.
That's part of the reason why we always go back and forth on debating whether or not pop punk is an appropriate
not until,
label for their music. Yeah.
During you can definitely argue that, but not during this era.
No.
With pop punk on the rise, it is very easy to make comparisons, but Relient K still has enough talent and originality to stand out in the crowd of new artists. Their music is generally full of playful lyrics about growing up in relationships. They also do something with their song Gibberish that is truly unique. The entire chorus is composed of nonsense words rhythmed and put to a catchy harmony. It actually sounds pretty good, but good luck trying to learn the words. The song that should resonate with my college...
Thank you for wishing me good luck.
The song that should resonate with many college students is College Kids, where they talk about the struggles of college life and how useless it is
to have a degree and
how useless it was to them. Yeah. All in all, there's not much one can have against Relient K, but don't expect a meaningful spiritual journey. Those looking for music to bob along to, pick up two lefts, make a right. Don't make a right, but three do.
All just such contradictions between different reviewers. Like, don't expect a deep spiritual journey, and then you read another one. It's like, this is too Christian.
Yeah.
Classic. Well, interesting. I don't think we ever did read that review before. So, thank you for finding that. Well, we do have a bunch of covers.
All right.
And we had one sent to us specifically.
All right.
By So Last Year.
Cool.
The band So Last Year. This is from Logan, specifically. He said, thanks for making me a part. He told me, what songs you guys doing soon? Because I'd like to record a cover or two. And I said what we were doing, and he said, "Thanks for making me part of the podcast. Relient K was one of my first cassettes someone gave me." So they were and are a huge influence on my writing. In the Instagram, and then he says, when you post on Instagram, please tag So Last Year ROC.
Nice.
And so here is the cover by So Last Year.
Someone please save us, college kid. What my parents told me is what I did. They said go to school and be a college kid, but in the end I'm quite sure why I did. I'm flat broke, I've got no cash to spend. Sell all my books to front row tickets to Dave Matthews Band. My girlfriend's at another school, I know this year will test her. I called, found out she had 3 other boyfriends last semester. And that's why I say, oh no, not for me, not for me. Call it torture, call it university. Arts and crafts is all I need. I'll take calligraphy and then I'll make a fake degree. We'll make a fake degree.
Nice.
Good
There was
stuff.
so much.
Sorry.
Jessica started eating popcorn while the song was playing.
That was great. I started like headbanging along. I like his voice.
I like so first of all, there weren't I don't think I found many full band covers already on the internet. So that's great that we got a full band cover.
Yeah.
Not to mention that it had different parts. It had little different sections. Like the first part, I don't know if it just developed that way, but it almost sounds like a weird little R&B tinge. That first part with the electric drum.
And it felt a little like praise and worshipy. I liked that.
Yeah, it was like praise and
fun.
worship mixed with R&B.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even, and then it gets into the regular rock section, and then it gets into some like easy core type stuff because he's like singing harmonies, but then they're doing like the breakdown part towards the end. That was really cool.
It was good stuff.
Yeah, I liked it. Also, I did not edit it down. They just kept it short and sweet. They just did like, one verse, one chorus.
Nice.
It was great.
Send in more covers. That was awesome.
Well, I gave them our list for the next couple weeks, so
Cool.
hopefully we'll get more covers from So Last Year. So another person who does a lot of, this is a full band cover, and someone who does a lot of Relient K covers is P1K,
Oh, yeah.
who I called PK1 last time. So I just want to correct that for anyone who went looking for them. Here's P1K's YouTube cover of College Kid.
Someone please save us college kids. What my parents told me is what I did. They said go to school and be a college kid, but in the end I question why I did. I'm bored, I'm starving, I'm flat broke, I've got no cash to spend. Sell all my books for front row tickets to Dave Matthews Band. My girlfriend's at another school, I know this year will test her. I called, found out she had 3 other boyfriends last semester. And that's why I say, oh no, not for me, not for me. Call it torture, call it university. No, arts and crafts is all I need. I'll take calligraphy and then I'll make a fake degree.
That's good. I like that. That's probably the lesser P1K cover that I've heard so far.
Have I mentioned this about P1K before, where I was like, oh man, that intro part sounds so like the Loungeliers. That,
Maybe.
like, sort
There's
of,
someone
like,
you said sounded like the
Casio,
Loungeliers before.
keyboard thing
And it's
going
also funny that both covers we had so far, they decided to do a different sort of funny take beat on the opening part, and both differently. But I didn't like the 2 notes that they did, like ding ding. I didn't like the tone on P1K's guitar in that case. Let's see. Then here's a weird one. Here's a weird cover.
Okay.
This is by a band called Ferret Fishing. Ferret Fishing.
Okay.
Ferretfishing.com. Ferretfishing.bandcamp.com. And what's very strange about this album is I thought this was a joke at first.
Okay.
It's called Ferret Fishing. The band's called Ferret Fishing. The album is called Basically Live. I want to find his description of the album. I guess I got to click back into the album. But basically, he's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. And what's odd about this is he says basically he got drunk and played a show. I mic'd myself up when I got drunk with some people in an empty venue and sang, and then I don't understand what he means by this. I know what the phrase means, but I got with some people in an empty venue and sang butt rock covers. Oh, the covers are butt rock songs. And sang butt rock covers of some songs.
What does that mean?
That is, I don't know exactly what it means. It's almost like, the way I can't quite describe it is like how some people get yacht rock wrong. You know? It's like, guys who sing like this.
Oh.
It's like, I don't know if Pearl Jam counts, but Pearl Jam would be one. It's basically like the post-classic rock.
Like Creed?
Creed would probably be considered that. Hold on, let's take a look. Urban Dictionary. We have to take a little sidestep from Ferret Fishing.
Let's take a look. It's on the internet. It's Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary. Originating in the mid-90s, butt rock is comprised of rapsy vocals similar to Pearl Jam, Creed, or Nirvana, backed with radio-friendly guitar riffs, drum beats, and basic bass lines.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what that means. Later bands include Nickelback, Seether, Theory of a Dead Man, Three Doors Down, Breaking Benjamin, Stained, Puddle of Mud, 3 Days Grace, Five Finger Death Punch. A lot of numbers.
I definitely would not categorize Relient K as that then.
No. But what he's saying is, and this is true now that I understand this, he's going to do the song in this 90s butt rock style. Okay. I guess the phrase may come from that it sounds like they're got their butts real tight while they're singing or something. I don't really understand. But what's odd about this cover, and we'll start it now, is that when you hear it, the people are applauding as he starts. So I thought it was like a joke. I thought like he went in post and added some fake applause. Like, who's actually really excited to watch Ferret Fishing? Who's Ferret Fishing? Is he popular in Scranton? I don't understand. So here, he also does a cover of Pirates Who Don't Do Anything.
Nice.
A Mouse Rat song. He does. He covers Real Friends and The Story So Far. He does the Frosty. He just says Frosty the Snowman for some reason. Here's his cover of College Kids, and it ends his album.
Someone please save us. Us college kids. What my parents told me is what I did. They said go to school and be a college kid. But in the end, I questioned why I did.
Stop after Dave Matthews. Jessica was making faces. She doesn't like it. I like he's playing a character of a 90s rocker. But then you hear that applause at the beginning. And I'm like, I guess they all just know what the song... Either it's fake... It sounds really fake, but when you listen to other songs in the album like I did, no one bursts out into applause like that. So I'm like, or are they his friends? They got together to make this album together. He paid some people, asked some people to come and be his crowd for this sort of pseudo-fake live album. It's really strange. I love the harmonic guitar chords in there. Did you hear that? How there's he's added a little extra on one of the strings to make this extra harmonic resonation or something, whatever. I can tell it's there on the chords. Love that. Vocals, he's playing a character. It's supposed to be dumb. I wish he kind of could have done a sincere vocal take.
Yeah. Yeah, your baby's not in love with Eddie Vedder.
I get that. Here is Amelia Lidstrom on YouTube. I don't remember. I didn't write a note on what this sounds like, so let's check it out.
Someone please save us college kids. What my parents told me is what I did. They said go to school and just be a college kid. But in the end, I question why I did. I'm poor, I'm starving, I'm flat broke. I've got no cash to spend. Sold all my books for front row tickets to Dave Matthews Band's. My girlfriend's at another school. I know this year will test her. I called, found out she had 3 other boyfriends last semester. And that's why I say, oh no, not for me, not for me. Call it torture, call it university. Yeah, arts and crafts is all I need. I'll take calligraphy and then I'll make a fake degree.
That feels like a very schizophrenic cover.
Is she singing with herself, or are there other people singing with her?
I think there's someone else singing with her, but
Like, did she just record
Amelia's
herself multiple times?
Amelia's
or...
very. I feel like Amelia's very talented,
Yes.
but I feel like it was schizophrenic in that at times it sounds like June Carter Cash. It sounds like old country, but then in other times it sounds like a pop punk guy singing on the back
Right.
of the bus on
Yeah.
Warped Tour, and obviously then it sounds like they're female.
I like that she did not
So-
change those pronouns.
Yeah, that was
for
fun.
you.
Yeah. I always think that's cool when you do not change pronouns to the hetero matching of whatever you're singing as.
Yeah.
You just leave all the words exactly as they are. There's a bunch of covers. There's a lot of guitar covers. There's a couple bass covers and drum covers. Not a bass cover, sorry, just drum covers. And we're going late, so let's see if I can pick one more. There's a Piano Dreamers. You can kind of... I only do Piano Dreamers every once in a while. Here is Going Spaceward. I wrote very high energy acoustic. One more acoustic, and then we'll check out some music videos.
Nice.
Someone please save us college kids. What my parents told me is what I did. They said go to school and be a college kid. But in the end, I question why I did. I'm poor, I'm starving, I'm flat broke, I got no cash to spend. Sell all my books for front row tickets to Dave Matthews Band. My girlfriend's at another school, I know this year will test her. I called, found out she had 3 other boyfriends that semester. And that's why I say, oh no, not for me, not for me. Call it torture, call it university. Arts and crafts is all I need. I'll take calligraphy and then I'll make a fake degree.
That's great. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Especially when in the world of acoustic covers, of which it's a giant world, to actually hear someone picking up the pace and
Yeah.
matching the original song. Like all of the dashboard and worship style covers that are slowed down on acoustic guitar. I love hearing someone actually match the energy of the original song, but on acoustic. That's fantastic. I love that. Did I say his name? I don't remember. Going Spaceward on YouTube. Still many other covers, and if you want to sign up at patreon.com/Sadie Hawkins Pod, you can get access to my notes and see any covers we didn't talk about. So let's look at some other videos and then we'll go to sleep. I actually had to break up I used to call it weird stuff. Then I felt like that was mocking of the people who put effort into their things. So I called it the fan stuff. I had to split fan stuff off into a subsection called literal FMVs, because there are dozens and dozens of literal FMVs. And what I don't think one particular one, maybe, but I don't think any particular one is worth necessarily watching right now.
Okay.
But what I'll do later,
Ship? You got any ship videos?
I don't think so. But what I'm going to do later is I'm going to just edit together a supercut of all the different places in the country where people showed how they were selling their books for front row tickets to Dave Matthews Band and how they were using calligraphy to make a fake degree.
Awesome.
Because by the 80th time I was seeing that again, I was like about to lose my mind. There was one in here that was pretty cursed. I don't know if that's worth watching. There's a bunch in here where they got like...
I don't think we've seen a cursed video in a while.
No, I'll see if I can find it.
You know what else we haven't had in a while? A female vocal cover that's in that style that I like.
Oh, yeah. That sort of Lana Del Rey-esque
Yes.
style, yeah. I will have to figure out who that was that time. That was an early episode where someone did a Lana Del Rey.
Oh,
she even did a
yeah.
Lana Del Rey cover when you look at the rest of her channel.
Yeah, I saved her channel somewhere. I gotta go look for that.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm not going to bother watching any of these. Oh, here's the cursed one. Here's the cursed one. I'll just play the cursed one for you. This is uploaded by Rhino 2019. Oh, not only... It has cursed...
It's a cursed name.
Rhino, RYNO 2019. Which is funny that their name is 2019 when this video was uploaded in 2008. Huh. I wonder if they... Or they changed their name like this year. 261 views 11 years ago. This college kids video. Now, it has cursed aspects, but it's not actually a fully cursed video. Jessica, you have to see how this video begins.
This is the second time this episode you've referred to it as being 2019.
Whatever. I wish it was 2019. I know, right? We all wish it was 2019.
Everybody wanted it to... Oh, wow. He looks like Napoleon Dynamite a little bit.
Sorry, you're saying everyone wanted it what?
Everybody wanted it to be 2020, and then 2020 came around. Everybody's like, oh, no, we didn't know what we were asking for.
Yeah. So, okay, here's the cursed aspects. Now they're in the creepy basement.
Oh, wow.
With
my gosh, what?
But now, watch this. He's playing a fake drum kit. It's going to happen any second. There they go. They're on a raft.
Wow. Yeah.
And they're using paddles and stuff. There they
Oh,
go.
wow.
They're on a literal raft floating in a river, pretending to rock out as a full band.
It's so like Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, but like, oh,
like,
goodness
is it a
gracious.
section of dock? Is it like a floatable section of dock or something that they cut off?
Yeah, the basement stuff.
And now they're
is
back in
so
the basement.
Cursed.
So
oh my gosh,
basically,
this guy's shirt is cursed.
It cuts back and forth between like a river, like it's the film Mud with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh wow, that was kind of a cool effect. They had it like at that like very boy band early 2000s like
hot white points with reversed with inverted colors.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only one I felt like really watching. But I'll make a supercut of all the different literal aspects of people's videos. There were a couple that I almost put in the literal video section. But they were actually like people's memories from the past year. Like they were about to graduate high school or college, or they just started college, and they made a little personal music video set to that footage.
That's fun.
Oh, there's a Club Penguin music video. You know, familiar with Club Penguin, where you're a little isometric penguin running around a little world.
Familiar.
It's a Disney thing, and you can like type messages, and then a little speech bubble pops above you. Well, kids would go around and type in lyrics to songs, capture the footage, and then edit together a lyric video.
Okay.
Set to the footage of their Club Penguin thing.
Okay.
Where they're saying the words. This kid, however old he was at the time, cheated and just used screen caps. Didn't take actual footage of his game. So I'm not even playing that or crediting that Club Penguin person because they totally cheated. I've seen Club Penguin videos for MXPX and stuff. And you're supposed to have footage of Club Penguin where your little penguin is saying the words of the song. Pretty obvious. There's a Monsters University AMV. That makes sense, right?
Okay, yeah.
Monsters
totally
University,
sense.
the Pixar movie.
Yeah.
But this one's fun for a second because here you go. So we saw this in the theater together. This is one of the few animated movies I could get you to go to.
I saw the first one in the theater, too.
Yeah. So I'm skipping forward to the end. Almost there. So Monsters University, all footage from the movie Monsters University by Pixar.
Oh.
And
what?
then And then oops, I missed it. Okay, here you go.
Okay.
So finally, Sully and Mike like each other. And Psalm 34:4. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears.
I sought the Lord, and the Lord won.
I get that. Actually, that's a pretty good psalm for today, for the world right now. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Psalm 34:4. I just was like, I'm watching a Pixar music video, and all of a sudden it just smash cuts to a psalm, and I was like, oh, okay.
Is that the psalm your mom was telling you to go read
Oh, maybe.
the other day?
Oh my gosh, let's go take a look. My mom was calling me during all of this craziness in the world, and she's like, which I'm kind of like deciding not to name in our podcast because I want it to be fun and Relient K based. But she called me and she's like, let me read you this psalm. And I'm like, okay, Mom, thank you. Read me the psalm. And then Jessica like didn't hear what I was saying over the phone, and she's like, are you okay? What's the matter? What'd you say? I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then as I'm saying, no, Jess, I'm fine, my mom's like, no, stop, listen. Because like I'm interrupting her, like, Mom, I'm telling my wife that I'm okay. You can read your psalm now.
Because I was in the shower and he was like, I think that Danny's initial reaction to her being like, I'm going to read you the psalm. He was like, oh, right. Or something like that. And I heard Danny in what sounded like distress. And so I had been in the shower and I came out and I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? What's going on? And then he was just like waving me off. And I was like, oh, okay, I see you're on the phone.
Not that she was wanting to read me a psalm, but the manner in which she called and the aggressive nature in which she needed to update me on stuff, and then she goes into, I want to read you a psalm. I'm like, okay. No, her psalm was Psalm 91, 9 through 11. This is much longer than the one from the Mike and Sully video. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thou habitation. I'm having trouble with this one. Leave all this in. Because thou hast made the Lord. I don't know what translation this is. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. So I guess God is your home. There shall no evil befall thee. Neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling, for he hath give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Okay, I totally get it. But this kind of translation isn't for me.
You're going to have the theologians hitting us up, Danny, like, you got it wrong.
Well, I guess the idea is...
Where's the kids' Bible
God
version?
is your habitation.
I love the kids' Bible versions of things.
I could go to some website that'll give me other...
We're good. What was the Mike and Sully one again? I like that one.
Psalm 34:4. This is the most Bible verses we've ever quoted on our Christian podcast. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Both of those work, yeah. So, I don't know if we can top that after we quote some Bible verses. Top that. I mean, there is a Tiny Toons AMV, which was like right up my alley. Tiny Toons is just like how Sonic the Hedgehog was my Lord of the Rings. Tiny Toons was my Animaniacs.
And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first live action movie, was your Star Wars.
That's right, it was.
Yeah.
The first Ninja Turtle live action movie was my Star Wars. So I think we're good. Okay. This was in some motocross video game, and I heard you mention that it was in some other video game as well, or some other song.
That was Pressing On.
Okay, so it's in some motocross video game.
Sweet.
And I saw it come up once in a while, and I was confused because a number of people were like, "Oh, it's called MX Unleashed." A number of people, when I'd see I'd be looking at people's YouTube comments.
I would
for this song, and they'd say MX Unleashed. Who's here for MX Unleashed? And I'm like, what is that? Is that some MXPX thing that I'm not familiar with?
No, I did see that somewhere. It didn't show up in the deep dives, but I saw it somewhere previously.
So I think it's PS2 game called MX Unleashed.
Nice.
So we'll be live streaming MX Unleashed.
We do have our PlayStation too.
We do. Do we have it in the house, or is it the storage unit? Is that an essential reason to leave the house, is to go to the storage unit to get our PlayStation 2?
That's right. Everybody out there, stay safe.
Yep.
Practice social distancing and keep yourself safe and everyone else around you. Unless, of course, you're listening to this podcast in the future and you're like, social distancing, what's that? Social distancing, not quite yet.
I get that. Hey, I'm going to steal that for a meme.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, 402-95-SADIE. Sadie Hawkins Pod at gmail.com. Sadie Hawkins Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Catch you later. Oh no, everybody's booing.